My goals as a professional athlete was pretty specific to say. I wrote a letter before I graduated from UCLA to shoe companies that said I have accomplished a lot in my high school and college career, but I want to help bring U.S. distance running back. And to say that in 1998, it took a lot of guts to say that and be able to live to it. I wanted to be one of the top distance runners in the U.S. and in the world in the 5K, 10K, cross country, and I included road racing and marathon. I include that in that letter. I wrote it down that I want to be an Olympian, and I want to be a medalist. I want to win New York, and Boston's were my goals. And and I just once I became an Olympian, I wanted to do something more than that. It was pretty emotional for me to become an American citizen in '98 and to be able to make the Olympic team in 2000 was huge. I wasn't sure in the U.S. You have to be top 3 to go to the Olympics or not. Whereas if I stayed a Eritrean citizen, it would be automatic shoe in. Okay. I had to make the decision, and it was probably one of the best decisions that I made. I've been here 10 years here, 10 years in Eritrea. Some of my siblings wanted me to run for Eritrea, and some wanted me to run for the United States. So it was Republican-Democratic kind of debate going on, and when Eritrea went independent, we thought about maybe I was going back because we left because of war, but most of my experience came in the United States. I told you earlier about a few things I remember Eritrea, but most of my memory came to the United States. I felt like I was more American than I was Eritrean, and that's why I became a U.S. citizen in '98.
On our daily walk. Not daily, but our... Who's this? Nick. Nick should be here. Nick, your friend? Good job, Fiore. Good job, Fiore. You can do it. Way to go.
The Olympic marathon in Greece on that course from Marathonis to Athens, where Phidippides ran and then the message and then dropped dead. All eyes are on you to run that course in that situation in Athens. I was thinking all the time, we don't want to do anything that would interfere with him having a chance to have a great day.
This was a business trip for him, and he didn't want his focus to be distracted. Nobody from the family was with him in Athens. Only Coach Bob Larson was there.
By the time we got into those last few days, I think both of us just felt, even though he was 38th fastest, it was going to be his day and he was going to get a medal. And that's where we went into the race feeling like that.
So for the first 2 hours or so, we were listening. We were talking on the phone with our friends and relatives on the East Coast that were watching it live. And one of our friends who lives in New York was giving us the play-by-play. And then towards the end, he's like, and I couldn't believe it. They were telling us Meb is, amongst the leaders, and he looks like he's going to do something very special. When you don't see it, it's hard to believe. You're like, are you sure you're counting right? Are you? And after a while, our friend in New York got so excited, he said, you know what? I want you guys to just watch this on your own. Something special is going to happen. And we were so mad because we were on the edge of our seats.
what a wonderful moment, you know. I didn't get to celebrate it eventually because they took me away right away for drug testing and stuff. I didn't have a victory lap, but it was an epic moment for me, and to be able to win the medal for the United States after 28 years. The closing ceremony and to receive the medals in front of, I think it was 100,000 the last day, and to add one more medal for the United States count, it was huge. To see the United States flag risen up on the last day, it was just a thrill of a lifetime for me, and you know, life changes drastically.
I think when Meb won the Olympic marathon, it did spark in him something that maybe I'd already seen, that he could truly be a dominant figure in that event. The biggest part of his career would be in major marathons around the world.
Everyone was expecting me to lead them and, you know, get ready for Beijing because of my great accomplishments in previous years.
So the expectations were that he would have a great Olympic trials.
2008 was rough. The 2008 Olympic trials, which were held in New York, Meb didn't make the team.
You know, you have to earn it, and I ended up getting 8th place due to an injury. And once I got fallen down, I couldn't get back up, and people would have to carry me.
He did experience a stress fracture in his hip, and so that everything unraveled during the race.
It was tough, but I didn't have no room to complain after my good friend Ryan Shea passed away. My good friend told me that, you know what happened to Ryan, and I was talking about Ryan Ho. Maybe he fell or something because it was mist wet surface, and he says, no, Ryan Shea. I'm like, no, what happened? He's like, dead.
Here, under God and under the 4 directions, we stand as community in the circle, coming together as one body to mourn the loss of our friend and celebrate the life of Ryan Shea.
We were training partners and friends for a long time. It kind of puts things in perspective. When I was doing the interview, we were sitting together because that seat was open. I said, hey, is that seat taken? He said, no, and we sat there and reminisced a few races. Who would ever thought that, you know, a few hours later he would be gone, and unfortunately God calls people on his time, not in our time, and I wish he was around to see New York and Boston and stuff like that, but you know, he can see from above that hopefully I made him proud.
Going into the Olympic Games in 2012 in London, our plan was to go to Europe early, be at altitude, had it all worked out. He goes to the starting line, he runs with them, he takes the lead a little bit, and is feeling good.
You know, as the race unfolded, I felt great for first 5K.
Comes by the first time, it looks great. Second time, the lead group goes by. The second group goes by. He's barely hanging on to the third group and looking terrible.
Eventually, as I went on, the cobblestones beat my feet up, and I get a side ache. And I start, you know, after 6-7 miles, I start dropping back and back and back.
He was building up blisters on both the bottoms of the feet. He described them later as being the size of golf balls, you know, squishy golf balls he's running on.
I was probably in 21st place halfway through the race and kind of giving up on the race, and I'm not going to finish top 10 or medal. So I know back in my head also that I already going to do New York City Marathon, so I thought about maybe dropping out and call it a day.
Wasn't sent there to drop out of the race. He's going to finish the race. So, and by golly, on that last loop, here he comes.
Well, you wearing the USA jersey, stopping is not an option for you. Whether you're going to get to the finish line, that's my new goal. And no matter how many people pass me, I wasn't expecting to pass people.
And then he comes around, and now he's got maybe a 5K or so to go. And he's gone from 20th. Now he's in, I think he was 6th place. I think I did this, 6th.
I saw Coach Larson. He says, Meb.
I talked to him about it might be a few years from now, but you might get a medal when they test everybody if somebody was taking something they shouldn't take.
I grabbed the United States flag and trying to get away, but the Santos trying to catch me, and basically I wanted to run with the United States flag like this, and that was not gonna happen because he's trying to catch me, so I just tucked it in, ran.
So he passes a couple more people and he gets 4th, and he's closing on everybody. And the cameras have picked him up because they figured out this is something dramatic where he came from that far back.
And I saw one white line there at the finish line, and as soon as I saw that, I went like this and came in 4th place. And I didn't win a medal, but to overcome from 21st place all the way to 4th place, you know, and I didn't know that the Abdi and Ryan Hall also have dropped out, no idea.
A lot of times 4th is a very, you know, frustrating position, but in that one, 4th was an inspiration to not only Meb and our training group, but to a lot of other Americans, that here's a guy that hung in spite of everything going wrong, that he could still get 4th in the Olympic Games. And I think that was an important message for all of us. The final chapter has not been written. We have the Olympic trials in Los Angeles, February 13th. He could make another team.
Got to earn a spot. Nothing is handed to you. Nothing has been handed to me. You got to earn it, and I hope to do that on February 13, 2016.